Now we are going to learn the behind the scenes of robotics and about the specific parts you need to build a functioning robot. We are also going to talk about what each part does, how they work, why you need those specific parts, how they all fit together, and what options you have for parts. By the way, if you have the robotics kit, it has all the parts you need to follow along and build this robot that can play the drum. So let's talk about the parts you need to build a robot. At minimum, you need 5 physical components to build a robot, and then some accessories like screws, brackets, wires, etc. to help you build the robot. So let's say you have all the parts and accessories to build a robot and you build it. Is it going to work? No, it's not going to do anything because you haven't programmed it yet. Remember, a robot is a programmable machine. So until you program it, it's not going to do anything. We're going to talk about the program and how to load the program into the robot in future videos. Now, what are the 5 parts you need to build a basic robot? No matter what kind of robot you are working with, at minimum, there are 5 main physical components you need to build a robot. Microcontroller unit. A microcontroller is also known as a microprocessor or central processing unit. It is essentially a mini computer. It's the brain of the machine that can understand and process instructions similar to our own brain. As you know, our brain can retrieve information from our memory or our senses and process that information, and then allow us to take certain action. The microcontroller works the same way, retrieving information or instructions from the memory and or sensors, processing the information, and sending signals to control certain actions a robot performs. Here is a microcontroller unit. There are many kinds of microcontrollers from different manufacturers with varying capacity, but this specific one is called Arduino Nano. It is made by a company named Arduino. There are many more microcontrollers available from Arduino, but this one is the most widely used for small robotics applications. So it's the one we're going to use. Memory. Memory is another component you need for the robot. Memory is used to store programming instructions. It is very much like our own memory that we use to store information. While the memory is a separate component, most microcontroller manufacturers embed the memory within the unit. This whole unit has the microcontroller plus the memory. Different units include different amounts of available capacity, but for our purposes, this unit has sufficient storage to load all our programming instructions that we will learn about. Motors are used to create movement. They're like joints. Because we have joints, we are able to create movement at those joints. Similarly, motors allow movement of different parts of the robot. After all, robots are designed to perform certain tasks. In order to do that, robots must be able to generate movement. The specific motors we use to build a robot are called servo motors. Typically, the servo motors have 3 wires. A pair of positive and negative, typically red and brown or black, and a signal wire, typically yellow. The pair of positive and negative is used to power the motors. The microcontroller unit sends an electrical signal via the yellow wire, which turns the gear by a certain amount. As the gear rotates, anything that is connected to the gear also moves. Let me show you. On this robot, we have 3 motors, one for each point of movement, one for both of the arms, and one for the head. Power source. Robots are made from electrical and mechanical components which all require a source of power. So, we also need a power source to bring the robots to life. Just like we eat and drink to keep us energized, robots need energy as well. Typically, small robots like these use some type of batteries to power the robot. For our robot, we will simply use 4 AA batteries, which are housed in this battery compartment. Body parts. Body parts give the robot a structure and shape. Just like we have various body parts like arms, legs, head, etc., robots have body parts too. The specific size, shape, and number of body parts and how you connect them is going to give the robot its structure. Our body parts make us what we look like and what we can do. Of course, other animals have body parts too, but they look different from humans. In the same way, the robots come in all different shapes and sizes depending upon the type of body parts used to give the robot a structure. The way the body parts are connected together also determine what types of actions the robot can perform. For this robot, we have the base, main body, arms, and the head. In addition to these 5 main components, you also need some accessories like wires, screws, adapter boards to aid with the assembly process. So let's review the 5 main components of a robot. The microcontroller unit, the memory, motors, the power source, and the body parts. So let's say you have all 5 components and accessories and you built the robot. When you turn it on, do you think it's going to work? No, it's not going to do anything because we haven't programmed it yet. Remember, a robot is a programmable machine, so until you program it, it's not going to do anything. So a program or code, which is a set of instructions, is another must-have to bring the robot to life. We're going to talk about the program and how to load the program into the robot in future lessons.